chapter number 15. We completed 14, and where we saw all the various bad omens, and now which was seen by the Pandavas and experienced by Pandavas, especially Yudhishthira Maharaj. And now we'll start with chapter number 15. Request someone to start reading. 1.15.1. Yes, who's going to read?
Claudia, I'll read.
Yeah, please.
Suta Goswami said, Arjuna, the celebrated friend of Lord Krishna, was grief-stricken because of his strong feeling of separation from Krishna, over and above all Maharaj Yudhishthira's speculative inquiries.
Okay, continue.
Due to grief, Arjuna's mouth and lotus-like heart had dried up. Therefore, his body lost all luster. Now, remembering the Supreme Lord, he could hardly utter a word in reply. With great difficulty, he checked the tears of grief that smeared his eyes. He was very distressed because Lord Krishna was out of his sight, and he increasingly felt affection for him. Remembering Lord Krishna and his well-wishes, benefactions, intimate familial relations, and his chariot driving Arjuna, overwhelmed and breathing very heavily, began to speak.
Here, till now, what is being described is a situation, the physical situation, the mental situation in which Arjuna is. His mouth is dried and he's lost his luster and breathing heavily. That means he got something big news to give to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Because Yudhishthira Maharaj in the earlier chapter had questioned many things. And in that questions, we remember we learned the rules of the Vedas. How the Vedas want us to follow a certain system or a rule. The Vedas are meant to guide us to live a very perfect human life. किस तरह से जीवन जीना चाहिए और उसमें क्या-क्या गलतियां नहीं करनी चाहिए. And those things were highlighted very nicely in the form of a question put forth by Yudhishthira Maharaj. Those questions were. Now we will see what Arjuna replies to all the questions which Yudhishthira Maharaj had asked. Yes, somebody can read.
Arjuna said, O king, the supreme personality of Godhead, Hari, who treated me exactly like an intimate friend, has left me alone. Thus, my astounding power, which astonished even the demigods, is no longer with me. I have just lost him, whose separation for a moment would render all the universes unfavorable and void, like bodies without life.
Cool. So first, he starts with the breaking the news to Yudhishthira Maharaj. He says, Arjuna said, O king, the supreme personality of Godhead, Hari, who treated me exactly like an intimate friend. That's a big award for the Supreme Lord to treat any other personality, even a great personality, as a friend is a great reward. He says, he treated me exactly like an intimate friend, has left me alone. That means Krishna has wound up his earthly leelas. Thus, my astounding power, which astonished even the demigods, is no longer with me. Why is he saying this? Suddenly, how could he realize that his power is no longer with me? Already Krishna had informed Uddhava, tell Arjuna to take all my wives to his kingdom. All his 16,008 wives. 16,108 wives. But mainly it was 16,000 wives because 16,100 because the 8 wives were somewhere or other, they were forms of Lakshmi Devis. Whereas these were all devotees. So he had told them, please take them. And Arjuna took the responsibility because he was the Gandiv Dhari, great bow, was holding the great bow. Gandiv. जिससे उसने पूरा महाभारत युद्ध में बड़ा धमाल मचा दिया. Killed so many people, the entire, he's a hero just because of that one Gandiv. So finally, when he was leaving and coming back, getting these ladies with him. In the jungle, he was intercepted by small, what do you say, bushmen or nomad tribe people, and they defeated Arjuna. They were not professional warriors or professional Atirathis and Maharathis who had fought the Mahabharata Yuddha. The Mahabharata war, all were great personalities, great warriors, and they were just nomadic tribe and thieves, so to say, nomadic tribes and thieves. And those thieves defeated Arjuna and took away all those wives. And Arjuna could not do anything. And that is why here he mentions very specifically, thus my astounding power, which astonished even the demigods. When the demigods were afraid of Arjuna's power, is no longer with me. आप मेरे साथ नहीं है. क्यों? आप मुझे आने जाने वाला कोई भी आदमी हरा सकते. I've just lost him, whose separation for a moment would render all the universes unfavorable and void, like bodies without life. मतलब उनके जीवन के भगवान के बगैर जीवन एक vacuum था. It was just an empty vacuum for him. And he's saying this. And he is more perplexed. It's not just the Lord has gone away. While going, Lord has taken away all his powers also. Or rather, his powers are not working. Or rather, he's now become a very common man. So what do you understand from this? As long as Lord is with us, we have our great capabilities. Whatever it is, it may be your intellectual capability, it may be your physical capability, whatever capabilities it may be. You may be successful in X, you may be successful in Y. All this is because of the Lord who is associated with you. And the Lord is there. And Lord always interacts with his devotees. The purpose of Lord interacting with his devotees itself is that itself is the root cause of the power of a person or a capability of a person. Please read the next verse.
Only by his merciful strength was I able to vanquish all the lusty princesses assembled at the palace of King Drupad for the selection of the bridegroom. With my bow and arrow, I could pierce the fish target and thereby gain the hand of Draupadi.
So it clearly says, because of God, I could pierce the arrow in the fish's eye. I could win over Draupadi, and I could even defeat all those princes who had come for the Swayamvar. So, this is the quality of a devotee. He is trying to say that whatever I am having, or whatever I possess, or whatever uniqueness I have, is solely attributed to the Lord. भगवान है, इसके लिए मेरे अंदर ये सब काबिलियत. लेटेस्ट न्यूज है, न्यूज़पेपर में आया था. शंकराचार्य को एक लेटर लिखा, एक ब्राह्मण है. There's a Brahmin and he has written a letter. He's saying, I don't do the daily Sandhya Vandana, that is the daily pujas, which a Brahmin is supposed to do 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, evening, the Gayatri Japa and all that. But I'm very happy. I have no problem. I'm living well. For that, the answer is very nicely given by Shankaracharya. He says, it's like one who cycles. You pedal very fast. The cycle goes at good fast momentum. But after some time, you stop pedaling. क्या तुरंत रुक जाएगा cycle? No. It will go steadily, it will go a little ahead. Might be even for 500 meters or 600 meters it will go. But then it will slowly lose its momentum and stop. So many a times people will feel, अरे मैं ये जन्म में कुछ कर नहीं रहा हूँ, फिर भी मेरा तो बढ़िया चल रहा है. Everything is going fine. It's because of your last momentum which you are still possessing. But the minute that last bursts or the earlier pedaling, fast pedaling momentum which you have stopped, slowly the speed is getting exhausted. Once that is fully exhausted, then you will realize you are powerless. You realize you are powerless. So the point what we have to understand over here is voice is coming again, right? Okay. So the point what Shankaracharya was trying to say was, you may not do your Brahminical duties now, or rather whatever your justified duties should be done, but still your life is going well, but it is not for long. When those pious deeds will get exhausted, you will come back to ground zero. Same way here, please understand, whatever power Arjuna had was solely because of Krishna. And Krishna, not that. It be any devotee in this world was powerful because of the Lord and his love for. Secondly, they could not bear the separation from God. भगवान की विरह में कैसे जिए, मतलब how to survive without God. That is another quality of a Vaishnava. Or Narsi Mehta, he used to, you all know, he didn't have any money, so he used to take loan from everyone, and उससे करता क्या था, साधु संतों के लिए भंडारा, भगवान को अच्छा छप्पन भोग करा था और साधु संतों के लिए भंडारा. So that was the way he was living his life. One day, a few sadhus, traveling sadhus, they came over to Junagadh, and they had heard that this place is very dreaded, बहुत डरावना है, मतलब काफी डाकू लुटेरे हैं. So they asked the villagers, is there anyone, a big businessman or a great personality, whom we can give him the money? We don't want to carry this money, it's very risky, and he can give us the money in Dwarka. Junagadh to Dwarka is not very far off, but not very near also. So all the villagers were envious. सब चलते थे नरसिंह मेहता से. तो नरसिंह मेहता को बोला, एक काम करो, एक आदमी है, बहुत बड़ा व्यापारी, बहुत बड़ा कारोबार है उसका द्वारका में, आप उसके जाके पैर पड़ो और उसको पैसा दे दो, वो हुंडी लिख के दे दे. I don't know, nowadays this business is not there. Earlier days this was common even in commercial business. I don't know it's still there or not, I don't know. But hundi likh ke deta. So like he used to write and give, and he could go give that letter and collect the money there. That was the system. All the sadhus, they decided, okay, we'll go to Narsimha Mehta's house. So they came to his house. That we heard, but they had already warned him. He will show himself as very pitiable, very humble. He says, I will not have anybody. You be adamant and get your work done. So somehow these people went to Narsimha Mehta's house. Narsimha Mehta was singing Hey Krishna Govinda Hare Murari Narayan Vasudeva. That is his favorite song. They were singing that song. इतने में साधु आया, बोला हम आपसे एक विनती करना चाहते हैं, we are giving you this money, please write a hundi so that I go to Dwarka and we can get them. This fellow started crying. अरे बाबा मेरा कोई नहीं है, I am a beggar, I am not a big businessman. And they started talking among them. So देखा गाँव वालों ने बोला वैसे ही करना है. गाँव वालों ने बोला ये बहुत बोलेगा, मेरे पास पैसा नहीं है, I'm very humble, I am fit for nothing. We have to be persistent. So we will be persistent. नहीं आपको करना ही है. नहीं मेरा कोई नहीं है, मेरा पैसा नहीं है, मेरा कोई कारोबार नहीं है, business नहीं है. What will I do? I cannot give any hundi. Finally, they asked one question which was pinching him very much. They asked him, आपको वाकई में कोई नहीं है द्वारका में? How could he say he didn't have anyone in Dwarka? कि भगवान तो द्वारका में थे. सर अभी ये लोग तो सुनने वाले हैं. ठीक है, took the money. Took a piece of paper and wrote a letter. Samal Saab, these people have given me this much money. Please pay them this much money when they come over there to Dwarka. Samal Saab. दैट इज व्हाई इवन जूनागढ़ में आज भी सावलसा का डीटी है, लिख के दे, वो लोग भी खुशी खुशी लेके गए। रीच द्वारका, घूम रहे हैं, सावलसा 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 किधर है, कोई पता नहीं। 2 days they roamed everywhere, they could not get Mr. Savalsa. So they were all heartbroken. They're sitting with next on the beach, and now they were cursing him. So other person said, "Why are you cursing him?" उसने पहले ही बोला था मेरा कोई नहीं है, हम लोग ने ही जबरदस्ती किया, we only forced him, no you have to give, you have to give, and मैं तो बोला नहीं, क्या करें, फंसा दिया, चोर आदमी है ये वो। जब they started giving गालीज to नरसिंह मेहता, एंड साधुओं को गाली देने का स्टाइल अलग है, so they started giving galis. This fellow Lord became very angry. Immediately Lord came there in the form of a small boy. He said, "Excuse me, are you looking out for Savalsa?" हाँ, yes. हाँ, मैं ही हूँ, मैं बाहर गाँव गया, had gone out of station. मैं इसके लिए आप 2 दिन ढूंढ रहे थे, मुझे पता चला, हाँ लाइए लाइए, कौन सा कुछ चिट्ठी ले आया, बोले आप लाओ लाओ, चिट्ठी दिया उसको, फिर read the चिट्ठी, हाँ ठीक है आप भी ले लो, आप भी पैसा ले लो, immediately gave them money also, and he said, एक मिनट, एक चिट्ठी लिख के देता हूँ, ये भी दे देना, नरसिंह जी को एक चिट्ठी भी दे देना। He wrote a letter, nice letter, gave it to नरसिंह, gave it to the साधु से, बोला नरसिंह मेहता को दे दे। Now, after a few days, when the sadhus got over in Dwarka, they came back to, they were on the way home. They said, let's go to Junagadh and let's thank him for all the help what he has done. Now, उसको शुक्रिया अदा करें, गए वहां पे, और वहां पे जैसे ही गांव में गए, गांव वालों ने इन्फॉर्म किया नरसिंह मेहता को, वो साधु लोग आ गए जिनको आपने हुंडी लिख दी थी। नरसिंह मेहता डर गए, तुरंत करके अंदर कुटिया के अंदर भाग गए, कौन रिस्क लेगा भाई, अंदर भाग गए। ये साधु लोग घर के बाहर आके, ओ नरसिंह मेहता बाहर आओ, अंदर से रोना चालू, मैं पहले ही बोला, मेरा कोई कांटेक्ट नहीं है, मेरा कोई पहचान नहीं है, आप ही जबरदस्ती करने लगे मेरे पे। अरे वो सब ठीक है, पहले बाहर तो आओ, मैं बाहर आके क्या करूंगा, मुझे मालूम है वो चिट्ठी का कोई कीमत नहीं है। कि व्हाट ही डिड वाज, जो पैसा आया उससे उसने भंडारा कर, 2-4 भंडारा करके वो पैसा भी, he didn't use it for himself, it was perfect sadhu, so he just used it for feeding sadhus and Vaishnav seva, तो पैसा खत्म। Now he was afraid to come out. Finally, बहुत आग्रह किया तो बाहर आया, एकदम हाथ जोड़ के, देखो मुझे गलत मत समझो, मैंने कुछ नहीं किया, मैं पहले बोला एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ। मतलब वो सब ठीक है, पहले ये आपके लिए चिट्ठी भेजा सावलसा ने, वो पढ़ लो। चिट्ठी पढ़ा, और चिट्ठी पे क्या लिखा, the content of this letter is very, very beautiful. I mean, very enchanting. It said, thank you for remembering me and giving me this service. Thank you for remembering and giving me this service and this honor also. It's a great honor for me. So I have given this money, and please feel free at any time in the future. मेरा दुकान खुला है, कभी भी आप मुझे आप सेवा पे ले सकते। Put the letter on his head, he understood the leela of the Lord, didn't say anything, kept quiet. And the sadhu said thank you, and they went. And he started crying, and he sat in the room. And that day evening again he started singing the glories of the Lord. He said, Lord, please come. I'm very sorry. I made you work, and I gave a letter in your name, which was not actually I had not given any money to you. इतने में भगवान वहीं प्रकट हो, द्वारकाधीश वहीं आ गए, बोला yes, I am very grateful to you for considering me yours. आपने मुझे अपना समझा, ये बहुत बड़ी बात। और तो और एक सब बढ़िया बात बताता हूँ, पूरी दुनिया ने मुझे चोरी बोला, या तो मुझे माखन चोर, या तो चित्त चोर, या तो चीर चोर, कोई ना कोई चोरी बोला है। किसी ने मुझे सेठ बोल के बुलाया, किसी ने मुझे सेठ बोल के बोला नहीं. You are the only person who has given me this title. I'm very thankful to you that you have elevated my position and made me a big personality. So I am always at your service. So what does this story got to do with this shloka? Please understand. Devotees cannot stay when they are separated from God. एक पल भी, एक क्षण भी वो दूर नहीं रह सकते, भले उनके साथ फिजिकल फॉर्म में ना हो, पर मन से तो जुड़े रहेंगे. And who was Arjuna? Who was Yudhishthira? Who was Bhim? They were all personalities who had taken birth only to serve Lord in his mission. That is why, what is the title of this chapter? The Pandavas go for Swargaroma. They are leaving this material earth. Why? Because Lord is God. So, devotion is that part which makes God intimate. I'll give you a very simple example to understand. We know राम सब जगह हैं, घट घट में हैं, अयोध्या में है, सब जगह रामचंद्र, मगर पाएंगे कैसे? तो द क्वेश्चन इज, घर में आटा है, घर में आटा है, और उसको आटे को खा सकते हो? कैसे खाना पड़ेगा? रोटी बना के खाना, मेक इट अ रोटी. Mute. You have to make roti out of the atta, then only the atta can be consumed. The atta cannot be consumed as it is. Similarly, please understand, Lord is there everywhere. But to connect with him, we need to increase our devotion. And devotion means interaction with God. One who interacts with God, who always remembers God. You know, there's a nice, what is the comparison? Surdas ji was blind. सूरदास जी अंधे थे, उनको दिखता नहीं, इट इज इन द फिजिकल फॉर्म. और नरसिंह मेहता क्या करते थे? आंख बंद करके भगवान को ध्यान करते थे. मतलब उसके पास तो आंखें हैं, कम से कम खोल के करता, आंखें बंद. दिस इज व्हाट इज अ comparison, that when people close their eyes, we also do close our eyes when we chant, but our purpose is to, हमको नींद आता है, बट उनको, भक्तों को नींद नहीं आता कि वो भगवान के स्मरण में, तो वो लोग क्या करते? आंख बंद करके भगवान को याद करते. हम लोग आंख बंद, we are not supposed to close our eyes and sleep, but a devotee of that level, yes, he can definitely close his eyes and be always interacting with God, and God interacts with them. The reason God interacts with them is they have done that much of, given that much of love. They have given that much of, what do you say, themselves to God. लोगों के अंदर आज भी देवी देवताओं के प्रति आकर्षण. By the way, can anyone tell me why we have got, we tend to ask for things from God? Why? Even from God. अकामो सर्व कामो वा मोक्ष कामो उदारति तीव्रेण भक्ति योगेन यजन्ते पुरुष परम. So in this shloka clearly says that you got kamana, kamo, akamo, without any kamana, या मोक्ष काम. In all three cases we worship यजन्ते पुरुष परम. वो भी कैसा? तीव्रेण भक्ति योगेन. This is Bhagavatam. But still, why do we ask when we know that ये सब वेस्ट है, जरूरी नहीं है, या ये सब अपने साथ चलने वाला नहीं, फिर भी क्यों मानते? Why? Anyone can answer this? बोलिए, very simple question. हाँ.
We want to enjoy, like we want to live in a better way. And हमारे मतलब जो बच्चे हैं, they should live in a very good, like वो attachment की वजह से we ask things, ना? For the betterment of this.
Yes, Vishal.
या प्रभु जी हम उसके बच्चे हैं, मतलब वी आर पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ द लॉर्ड। तो बच्चा अपने माँ या पिता से ही मांगेगा ना, और किससे मांगेगा? तो उसको कुछ भी चाहिए तो उधर ही जाएगा मांगने के लिए। So he has to be, that's what we have to keep.
Yes, yes. Was simple but very intelligent question. Simple question, but only an intelligent boy can answer. Yes,
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, मैं ट्राई करूं।
yes. Please, please, please.
यानी फैमिली में या आसपास जो भी लोग रहते हैं वो यानी घर में वैसा देखा होता है, इसके लिए सभी वैसा कैरी फॉरवर्ड होता है वही बिहेवियर भी।
Okay. Sub, see what Chandrakant said, what Vishal said, what you are saying is all an explanation, but not the true understanding. The true understanding is why a devotee doesn't ask. Why did Narsi Mehta did not ask? Why did Surdas ji not ask?
Because they no Lord will do the best for him. Like Lord knows better than him,
प्रभु जी
and
because
they
If
don't have any.
if you
They
all
have
if you
only
all
one
understand
desire,
if you all
to serve the
understand
Lord.
this one principle, you all also can become like great personalities of great devotees like Narsi Mehta and Surdas and all. Yes, Tanita Mataji, आपको बनना है बड़ा devotee तो बनना है. बोलिए. What is that one thing which you got to understand? Very important, huh? But very simple, but very important.
हरे कृष्ण
Yes,
प्रभु जी।
हाँ बोलिए.
अब हरे प्रभु जी, मटेरियल हैप्पीनेस इस मतलब थोड़ा टाइम के लिए, तो उसके लिए इतना मेहनत करने की जरूरत नहीं है।
प्रभु जी
जो दुख आते हैं हमारे लाइफ में, दुख आते हैं कि हम सोच रहे हैं ये दुख बहुत बड़ा है, वैसे सोच के
लोग भगवान छोड़ो देवी देवता के सामने भी चले जाते हैं. क्यों? Yes, Samrat Prabhu, want to try? किसी को गूगल करना है, गूगल भी करके देख लो. अरे बाबा प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड. हाँ बोलिए.
प्रभु जी, वो तन मन से सिर्फ भगवान को ही मतलब पूजना चाहते, वो उसकी कुछ कामना ही नहीं होती कि मुझे ये चाहिए वो चाहिए। उन्हें सिर्फ भगवान पे मतलब उनकी पूजा में ही वो तल्लीन रहना चाहते, इसकी वजह से।
प्रभु जी, अकॉर्डिंग टू मी वो जो जो बड़े भक्त हैं वो समझ गए हैं कि वी आर नॉट द बॉडी, वी आर द सोल। तो ये सब जो
Yes,
प्रॉब्लम है उनको लगता ही नहीं प्रॉब्लम।
yes, that's the correct answer. The day you realize that you are the soul and you are not the body, automatically all begging, boring, everything will stop. You have to think that you are, we are conditioned to think we are the body. That's the problem. The minute you are housed inside a body, you start thinking, yeah, मैं तो शरीर हूँ, मैं आदमी हूँ, मेरा requirements क्या है, मैं औरत हूँ, मेरा requirements क्या है. Then आप जब शरीर समझने लगोगे, बाकी संबंध सब आ जाएगा. मेरा बेटा, मेरा चाचा, मेरा काका, मेरा बेटे के लिए मुझे कुछ जमा करके जाना है. What you all said was all right, but what was the reason? The reason is you are thinking that you are the body. Bhakt, great personalities like Narsi Mehta, Surdas ji or Mirabai, they never thought themselves they are the body. Body है तो requirement है. Body, all your requirements are subjected to body level. Are you all getting this point? Very important point. Your requirement list starts as a body. As a soul, your requirement is zero. As a body, what happens? मैं सुबह उठा तो मुझे, I need a good car to go to the office. I need a nice office. I need a big business. I need to take care of my children. I need to take them out. I need to feed them. Blah 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 blah. All the series starts, but all the series starts from the point that when we are considering ourselves as the, यही अगर हम अपने आप को, मैं एक आत्मा हूं, मुझे परमात्मा से जुड़ना है, then you are not considering yourself as a prime focus, in the prime focus. आप अपने आप पे केंद्रित नहीं रहते. You are focused then on the soul level. And then when you chant, you don't sleep. Your love for God increases every minute. Because our level, our love of God, love for God is, or rather, I'll put it this way: once you start thinking in that level, Lord makes arrangement for your upliftment automatically in the devotional. So please understand this, very important. We are still not convinced that we are this. We are still convinced. Okay, we are the soul. Both at the time of death, till then I'm this body. And when you consider this body as all in all, then your devotion takes a back. You have a reason to bunk the class also, because you are a body. I got my brother's birthday, I got my sister's birthday, I got my anniversary, I got this, I got that. Stop thinking that we have to slowly tune our mind. The mind, why the mind wants to enjoy? You all said yes, हम लोग को सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन करना है. जब तक आपने मन को ट्रेन नहीं किया कि भैया आप आत्मा के लेवल पे बात करो, शरीर के लेवल पे होगे तो मन यही बोलेगा, इंद्रियों को क्या चाहिए वो इंद्रिय के सामान दे दो. Eyes want to see beautiful things, give the thing for the eye. Or the tongue wants to taste nice things, give it to the tongue. The genital wants to enjoy sexual pleasure. What do you say? Skin wants to, your ear wants to enjoy nice things. Because why is the mind working in that focus? Because the mind is still convinced that you are the body. When the mind is convinced that you are the soul, automatically scenario changes. Then all your other bodily requirements becomes secondary and not primary. But we are holding our body requirements in the primary category, and that is where the problem is. Okay, please read ahead, Mother.
Because he was near me, it was possible for me to conquer with great dexterity the powerful king of heaven, Indradev, along with his demigod associates, and thus enable the fire god to devastate the Khandav forest. And only by his grace was the demon named Maya saved from the blazing Khandav forest, and thus he could build our assembly house of wonderful architectural workmanship, where all the princes assembled during the performance of Rajsuya Yagna and paid you tributes.
So he is talking about Indraprasth, which was created by Mayadanav. Danav, Maya, there is Maya Danav, there is Danav means Asura. The Asura Maya, he was also staying in Khandaprasth. And Lord very nicely said, let me make this into Indraprasth. Let's make this barren, useless land productive. So he burned the entire. And in Valley, Mayadana was saved by Krishna. And Krishna saved him deliberately so that in thanking him for his life, he would prepare the most illusionary Indraprasth. That is why Maya means what? Illusion. He made the Indraprasth which was illusionary. यहाँ पे दुर्योधन जब धरती समझ के चल रहा था और पानी में गिर गया. That was, he could create illusion because Mayadana had. So again he is attributing this entire whatever worldly pleasures they enjoyed, so-called beautiful workmanship for the Indraprasth which was made in Khandaprasth was also courtesy of the Lord. They themselves, that is what is the quality of a devotee. A devotee never considers himself as the doer. He says, सब जो कर रहे हैं भगवान ही कर, भगवान ही सब कुछ करने वाले हैं, and he knows what is the right thing to be done. And as regards Indra, because he was near me, it was possible for me to conquer with great dexterity the powerful king of heaven, Indra, along with his demigod. So Indra Kapas, he went with this body, with this very body he went to heaven. Though he was Indra Putra, he was the son of Indra, but he was capable of going, and that was also thanks to Krishna. Because of Krishna, he could go with the very same body, he could go up and sit in the what do you say? Please close mute the Sudharma Sabha, which was there in heaven. There he could go and sit. Yes, continue.
Your respectable younger brother, who possesses the strength of 10,000 elephants, killed by his grace, Jarasandh, whose feet were worshipped by many kings. These kings had been brought for sacrifice in Jarasandh's Mahabhairav Yagna, but they were just thus released. Later, they paid tribute to your majesty.
So, when he is talking about his Gandhi, there was a very beautiful incident in Mahabharata. Very beautiful. When the Greek Krida was going on, gamble was going on, and Yudhishthira was using one by one everything. Arjun lost his Gandiva also. They put his Gandiva also on stake, and he lost that also. And that time Duryodhana tells laughingly at Karna, Karna, जा उठा ले उस गांडीव को, वो हार गया है, now it is yours. Now you are also a great archer, you are a great warrior, you can now be as powerful as Arjun. That time Karna says, no, he has already lost it, I don't want it. So then Duryodhana asks him, why you are not taking it? Should have taken it. It is our property now, we have won it, take it. He says, no, I know the Gandhi will not work if it comes in my hands. That's why the Gandhi will not work. No, the person who is making it work is with Arjuna. No? जो उस गांडीव को चला रहा है वो कौन है? वो कृष्ण. So अगर वो मेरे हाथ में आ जाए, it is not going to work. So let it be with Arjuna. It doesn't take. So what does this small incident mean? When Karna knew their power was because of Krishna was only powerhouse or main supply of the Pandavas. Otherwise, Pandavas had no chance to stand. Though they were great warriors, so to say, but in true sense, they could not have a chance to serve. Yes, Mataji, please continue. Your respectable younger brother. Please read that once again.
Which one? Ninth, वापस again I should read. Text 9 again should I read?
Yeah.
Okay. Your respectable younger brother, who possesses the strength of 10,000 elephants, killed by his grace Jarasandh, whose feet were worshipped by many kings. These kings had been brought for sacrifice in Jarasandh's Mahabhairav Yagna, but they were thus released. Later, they paid tribute to your majesty.
So, Jarasandh का वध कैसे हुआ? It's a very beautiful story. Jarasandh was already behind Krishna. Krishna said, मैं तुझे नहीं. Jara नाम की एक राक्षसी ने उस, you know the backstory of it. What had happened in the past? How it was. You all know that Jara was a joining of two parts of the body were joined and the body was made. Do you know the past history of it? Actually, a king was there who didn't have a child. So a sadhu gave him a fruit and he told him, give it to your wife, she will get a child. This fool, he had two wives. So he wanted both his wives to have child. So he cut the fruit. Gave half to one, gave half to the other. So उन्होंने खाया, half of child पैदा. Half child was born. Now the king was wondering, what will I do with this half child? It's dead. He threw both the half children the jungle. And there this demoness Jara, Rakshasi, घूम रही थी. तो बोला मैं खाना ढूंढ रही थी. उसको दो बच्चे के टुकड़े मिले. वाह, बच्चे के दो टुकड़े and बराबर they were half. No? Like the apple cut into two pieces, they were into two half. They were from the center. So she put both together. Since you had the Asuric powers, child came to life. Asuric power will give birth to Asuric child only. तो जरासंध was also असुरा. ऊपर से किसका ससुर था? कंसा का ससुर था, की बेटी दिया था कंसा को. राक्षस राक्षस की बेटी अपनी बेटी की बिरादरी में देगा ना. So very nice Asura. And then he was, when Kamsa was killed, he wanted to take revenge for his daughters getting widowed. He said, मैं छोड़ूंगा नहीं, मैं attack करूँ. 17 times attack. Every time he used to go lose. कृष्ण उसको छोड़ देता. पूरी आर्मी को सफाच. अक्षोणी सेना लेकर जाता था खत्म. तो बलराम ने पूछा, क्यों आप उसको नहीं मार रहे हो? नहीं, वो मेरे लिए फ्री सर्विस कर. He is enrolling people and getting them. And I finish them. जितने भी असुर आ रहे हैं उनको मार देता हूँ, ये जाएगा. एंड हर टाइम जाता था. शिशुपाल भी उसी का पार्टी करता. तो शिशुपाल जब भी ये हारता था, शिशुपाल बोलता था हार जीत तो चलते रहे. और जब शिशुपाल का हाथ से रुक्मिणी चली गई, तब जरासंध ने उसको बोला, डर मत, ये सब चलते रहे. ना तो बहुत कंसोल ईच अदर ना, जैसे लूजिंग पार्टी कंसोल्स हिमसेल्फ इन हिज ओन वे. So he was troubling Krishna every time, and finally, the last time he said, "Oh, because of me, these people are getting disturbed. My Mathura Vasis are getting disturbed. Let me leave Mathura and go." And he climbed up a mountain and took a jump. And where did he land? Which place did he land? He didn't land in Dwarka.
Dakur.
Dakur, yes. He landed in Dakur. And from there he went to Dwarka. Dwarka is very near. And he made it up to. तो कहने का मतलब क्या है? Please understand that Rakshasas were trying to trouble him, but finally Krishna said, "I will not." तुझे कौन मारेगा? ये मेरा भक्त मारेगा, भीम मारेगा. And he gave the credit to Yudhishthira Maharaj. So what was the big plan which Yudhishthira Maharaj had, or rather Krishna had? Krishna said, first and foremost, he has got a lot of kings. Yes, thousands of kings were bought. And उनका क्या rule क्या था? I know these Rakshasas got the very funny mentality. Even the 16,008 wives, 16,100 wives, which Narakasur had kept. He didn't touch those ladies. He kept them as it is. What was his plan? Because as per the Narad Muni had given a small tip to him. You want to become God? You marry 16,100 wives in one muhurat. एक मुहूर्त में शादी करो. Now, if suppose the muhurat is of 1 minute, or let's say even if it is of 1 hour, 16,100 marriages he cannot do. That's Krishna can do, even if it is 1 minute, because he can expand into as many Krishnas, whereas no human being can expand. But Asura Buddhi, na Asura Buddhi, Narakasura. He is thinking, मैं एक साथ, let me wait for a perfect moment where it will be full day मुहूर्त रहेगा शादी. तो एक करके मैं सिर्फ 16,108 से शादी करूंगा, 16,100 से शादी करूंगा, तो मैं भगवान हो जाऊंगा. Here, this fellow Jarasandh also had the same plan. I'll sacrifice all these kings, my Bhairav Baba, Bhairanath, and then I will also become immortal. I will also become great. So, all this again attributes to one. When you consider yourself as the body, consider yourself as a doer. When you consider yourself as a body, you consider yourself to live long. ये सब अमर बनने के चक्कर में ये लोग इतने माथापच्ची कर रहे हैं. But from Shastra you come to know that you are already immortal. आप अमर हो, आत्मा अमर है, मरना तो शरीर को है. Why we have long-term plans? Because by default we know हम मरने वाले नहीं. But ये भूल जाते हैं कि ये शरीर मरने वाला है. But माइंड सेटिंग से इसके लिए कोई मर गया तो थोड़ा बहुत मरकट वैराग्य आता है. बट भूल जाते हैं, अरे आज ये मरा है, कल मैं भी मरूंगा, वो मरा है, मैं थोड़ी मरूं। ये सोच के वो मरा, अब मरा तो क्या है वो, बस भगवान राम क्या स्वर्ग चला गया, क्या ये शरीर से छुटकारा पा लिया, किसी और शरीर में गया होगा। सेम अप्लाइज टू अस आल्सो, हमारा भी छुटकारा होगा इस शरीर से, भूल जाते फर्क। एंड दैट इज फॉरगॉटन बिकॉज बाय डिफॉल्ट वी नो द इनहेरेंट क्वालिटी ऑफ द सोल व्हिच इज कर्म। दैट इज व्हाई मेनी ऑफ अस वी आर श्योर, चलो भक्ति कर रहे हैं, अगले जन्म में कुछ नहीं तो अगले जन्म है, इतना पक्का मालूम है, जन्म लेना ही पड़ेगा। अगर भगवत नाम भी जाना है तो वहां जन्म लेना पड़ेगा, आत्मा को वहां जाना पड़ेगा, इट हैज टू ट्रैवल। नो बर्थ इज विदाउट ट्रैवलिंग ऑफ द सोल। Through the semen of a donkey, monkey, anything, the soul has to travel into the womb of a female monkey, female donkey, female fish, female bird, whatever it is, and undergo this entire. So this is what is the greatness of God is God did not kill Jarasandha and he coolly gave him the credit. भीम को बोला चलो युद्ध लड़ते हैं, क्यों? बहुत लड़ लिया, अब इसको खत्म करो। He knew युद्ध में उसको हराना मुश्किल है, 1-to-1 वॉर में भीम को लेके गए, युधिष्ठिर महाराज के साथ में चले, बोला चलो लेट्स फाइट। दोनों ने मल्ल युद्ध किया, 1-to-1 fight, duel, and the duel, of course you all know the story, pick the stick and threw it on the opposite side, and that was the only way Jarasandha could be killed, because his body was made from the union of two half bodies, and these half bodies had to be separated, and every time it used to separate, it used to join, because again thanks to the magical powers of the demoness Jara. So he deliberately, Lord knew the trick how to kill. Please continue.
It was he only who loosened the hair of all the wives of the miscreants, who dared open the cluster of your queen's hair, which had been nicely dressed and sanctified for the great Rajsuya sacrificial ceremony. At that time, she fell down at the feet of Lord Krishna with tears in her eyes.
This is a very important incident which again happens. See, every small incident of the Mahabharata is being highlighted. During the Rajasuya Yajna, there was a special function, or rather an event. जैसे आजकल haldi, all that has become now a big event. पहला कुछ नहीं, that was just a part of the ceremony, but now it has become an event. Sangeet, haldi, this, that, fine. Similarly, in the Rajasuya Yajna, her hair was nicely braided. Please understand. तो क्या बोलते हैं ब्रेड को हिंदी में क्या बोलेंगे?
चोटी।
चोटी
छोटी बनाना, हाँ छोटी बनाना। तो छोटी बनाया, एक प्रोसेस होता है जिससे वो छोटी बनाया, एंड वो सिर्फ एक चक्रवर्ती महाराज की पत्नी, दैट इज महारानी का ही बाल उस चोटी, एंड उस दिन से दुर्योधन और दुशासन को उस चीज का जलन, they were envious of it. That is the reason when she was brought to the Dvikrida, I mean when she was lost, the gamble match, Dushasan pulls her by the hair, and the hair gets loosened. मतलब बाल खुल जाते हैं, उसके बाल खुल जाते हैं, and we must all have seen the Mahabharata serial. She says जब तक ये इनका मृत्यु नहीं होता मैं अपना बाल केश को बांधूंगी नहीं, that too with the blood of, I'll wash my hair with the blood of Dushasan. So whole 13 years when they were in the forest, she was having her hair loose. What Arjuna is trying to say, since her hair was loosened by Dushasan, all the ladies of the Kaurava party, they were all killed. What does this signify? Their wives' hair had to be loosened. जब भी कोई मर जाता है, it's a प्रथा, अभी भी है, but लोग करते नहीं, आजकल तो उल्टा है, ऐसे भी लेडीज बाल खुले रख के जाना, I don't tell you, but actual rule is the hair should be braided. चोटिया छोटी बना के जाना चाहिए. Lady should always have their hair. And only a lady whose husband dies, whose son dies, वो अपने बाल खुला खुला छोड़ना मतलब घर में कोई दुख का घटना घटा है, something very sad as that. So Arjuna is saying Krishna had taken a revenge since Dushasan had pulled Draupadi by her hair and loosened her hand. Word specifies here is loosening the hand, opening the hand. She said, I will take the, Krishna said, I will take the revenge. And each one, Duryodhana, all the 100 Kauravas and all their allied parties, when they were all killed, all ladies had to open their. One mistake of Dushasan, entire Kaurava army had to take the brunt of. Very important. It is better to be associated with God in a smaller way, in a smaller position, than to be associated with an anti-God person in a big way. This is what Shastra is teaching. Anti-God आज भी है, भगवान के विरोधी आज भी हैं, but उनके साथ रहने में भौतिक आनंद या भौतिक सुख जरूर मिल सकता है, but you will not get peace and happiness. Peace and happiness आपको देगा नहीं. This is the constitutional problem. No, we are all in dukhalaya. हर किसी को कोई ना कोई दुख सता रहा है, कोई शारीरिक, कोई मानसिक, कोई क्या आर्थिक, financial problem, health problem, money problem, what is it, job problem, child problem, name it. The style of problem may be different, but everyone is suffering some problem or the other. Why are we suffering? Because we are in the body. The minute you realize, no, I am the soul, I am not the body, automatically these problems will stop troubling your mind. Problem is all in the mind. There is no physical problem, it's only in the mind. Yes, a problem क्यों हो रहा है? The cause of it is in the mind. That you are considering yourself as the. We'll take one more shloka and then we'll wind up. Yep.
During our exile, Durvasa Muni, who eats with his 10,000 disciples, intrigued with our enemies to put us in dangerous trouble. At that time, he, Lord Krishna, simply by accepting the remnants of food, saved us. By his accepting food, thus the assembly of Munis, while bathing in the river, felt sumptuously fed, and all the three worlds were also satisfied.
That is the best. If Lord is satisfied, the whole world is satisfied. You satisfy Lord, Lord will satisfy your enemies. Lord will satisfy your dependents. Lord will satisfy all those who are somewhere or the other connected to you. And I told you a number of times the story of Durvasa Muni, when this happened in Vrindavan only, Kamyavan, when Vimalakund, near there is the Pandavas' house where the Pandavas were staying for a few days over there, and that time deliberately Duryodhana sends Durvasa Muni there. He said, no, you should go and eat at my brother's house. He first feeds him very nicely over there, along with his 10,000 disciples, and he says, this is nothing. You will get a better food in my brother's house. But you should go only at afternoon. Don't go in the morning. And every day he knew very well. Morning, Draupadi used to make the Akshay Patra, what she had. Morning, she used to prepare food. And it used to produce so much of food that till everyone ate, the food used to be burned. And the minute everyone finished, then she used to eat the last, and then the pot cannot produce more food for that day. So this was a rule. And जानबूझ के timing देख के भेजा. And when Durvasa Muni came, Durvasa Muni said, yes, I have come here to have food. Even Yudhishthira Maharaj also, yes, आइए पधारिए महाराज, आपको खाना खिलाएंगे. That was the rule of a Kshatriya. He said, yes, please come. I'll feed you. He said, wait, I'll have to go to the take bath and come. It's my afternoon Sandhya Vandan time. I'll go and take my bath and I'll come. And then we'll do our Sandhya Vandan. And then we will have our food, some shoes. And all were hungry, 10,000. Mind you, sadhus, that too, deadly eating people. And Draupadi was wondering what is good. Immediately she recalled God. God, please save me. Immediately Lord came and said, you have what? I am also feeling hungry. Give me something. Draupadi said, I am fed up of this 100,000. You are also asking food. Where will I having food for you? I am not having food. That's why I called you. No, give me your pot. There must be something. No, I have washed and kept. No, there must be. There. You could see one small grain somewhere it was stuck. He removed it and ate it. And just by his eating, all the 10,000 Shishyas, including Durvasa Muni, who had a ferocious appetite, सबका पेट started burping. यहाँ तक भर गया. वो तो वो सारे तीनों लोगों के जीवों का भी पेट भर गया. What does this mean? Whenever we offer food to the Lord, it's not just for our satisfaction, it's His satisfaction. This is the way by which you can connect yourself to God. When you show your concern for God, God shows His concern towards you. Karmabai ki khichdi. How did Karmabai start? Once her father told, offer food and I'm going out of station, you offer food to God. And he went away. She got up in the morning, didn't take bath, she was doing her datun, there was the earlier days toothbrush, datun. And she was cooking khichdi, use the other end of the khichdi, the stick, so that it doesn't get burnt. तो भी हुआ, ऑफर किया, भगवान खा लो, पापा ने बोला खाने के लिए. She saw Lord did not eat. अच्छा मैं हूँ इसके लिए नहीं खा रहे हो, मैं जाती हूँ. She went and stood behind the पर्दा and चुपके देख रही, खा रहे कि नहीं. अरे नहीं खा, क्या हो गया? टेस्ट बराबर नहीं है, नमक बराबर नहीं है. She took a small piece from that food itself, which was kept in front of the Lord. Tasted it. बराबर है. What's the problem for you? Eat. Please don't try all this. आप लोग ने हम भी कर्माबाई के लेवल पे नहीं, हम लोग नहीं. So just and then finally say, you don't want to eat, no problem. You'll become slim. I'm also not going to eat. If I die, it will be yogas of you. Because Papa has told me, Father has told me, you have to eat. Finally, Lord got desperate and he came and ate. And then till the last day, daily used to come. That is great. आज भी इसके लिए first भोग to Jagannath ji is khichdi. It's called as Karmabai ki khichdi. Because the day she died, Lord started crying. The Pandas asked, why are you crying? If I don't get my food daily morning, she gives me khichdi. Who will give me now? Oh, chali gayi. She has gone back to Godhead. So who is going to feed me? Panda said, don't worry, we will make khichdi for you daily. There are so many things in which one can interact with God and connect with God. So devotion is not rules. Devotion is a process by which one connects himself. चाहे वो आप क्या बोलते हैं, खाना खिलाना हो भगवान को, सुलाना हो भगवान को, जगाना हो भगवान का, अगरबत्ती आरती करना हो, maybe small things, but that is the process by which we tune our mind. Like he is the actual person to whom we have to surrender. We are not the body, we are the soul, and he is the super soul, and finally he is the person we are connected. It's the process which goes in due course of. Okay, with this I would like to close this session. Anybody has got any? You can close the streaming.